Welcome back, psychos. Today we're going to do the most iconic quotes from season 3, episodes 9 through 16. Okay, we're starting off with a Christmas episode 9, called Christmas Joy. And the most iconic from that I picked was the conversation between Henry and Sean, when Henry says, well, fooling around with your best friend's sister certainly wasn't your most brilliant idea. And then Sean's response, I love, no, that was the toaster alarm I invented in the 3rd grade that woke you up by smacking you in the face with a waffle. I think I peaked too soon. It's just funny. I like it. Just that peak too soon makes me laugh. And the getting smacked with a waffle, which then in the movie, Gus has his waffle and he smacks Sean with it. So it all connects.
It does. I was thinking that as you said that. And I was debating on that one because it's funny, but that is not what I went with. It was Gus's dad's quote, God don't like ugly. I just thought it was like a good quote from him, you know, and it's rare that the iconic quotes are from a non-main character.
That one's really funny. All the drama with the Gusters.
Yeah, that Sean is basically the cause of almost all of it. Not all of it, because they have their own issues, but he definitely didn't hope that.
What does Gus have to say about that?
You must be out of your damn mind.
That's fitting, I think. I had an honorable mention.
Oh, go for it.
It was between Chief and Gus. And Gus says, Joy was just excited to see what we do. Have you seen a movie about high school? Yes. Then you've pretty much seen what they do. Episode 10, 6 Feet Under the Sea. So I ended up going with one between Chief Vic and Sean. Chief Vic says, I had 3rd row center at Phil's Collins tonight. And I get called back in here because my departmental psychic wanted to break into an aquarium to feed some fish. That is not entirely true. Then why were you wearing swim trunks and carrying a How to Ride a Dolphin pamphlet?
That was funny. It lets us know about her love of Phil Collins.
And that she can be fun outside of the department.
My most iconic is Lassiter. I don't remember how he says this exactly. The sea lion. Is that French?
So that was going to be my honorable mention.
I do have an honorable mention. Gus, don't be exactly half of an 11-pound Black Forest ham.
Wait, that's from this episode? That's my favorite. Gus, don't be.
Yeah. That should have been your most iconic.
I know. I didn't realize it was from this episode. I totally missed that.
Episode 11, I really love. And that's Lassie Did a Bad Thing. It's full of so many funny, random quotes that I just think of randomly and make me giggle, basically. There's so many things in this one. My most iconic from it, however, I picked when Sean says, looks like it's stealth mode for us, partner. And Gus says, stealth mode? Hit the jackal switch.
Doesn't he make him actually hit the switch too? Okay, yeah. So that I thought about, but I found 2 that I liked better. One iconic and then one as my honorable mention. So this is my most iconic from this episode.
That's my honorable mention. Go for it.
You really want to know my process? Absolutely. It usually starts with a holla and ends with a creamsicle. And if there's time in between, Thundercats. I'm dead. And then my honorable mention was combos. Different story. They're both pretzels and cheese. And if you get one without cheese, that means the bag is haunted. So now I always think about this when I eat combos or see combos.
That's also like in my honorable mention list. And there was that time I was quoting it on Twitter and the combos people tried to assure me that their bags weren't haunted.
I forgot about that.
I just wrote down a few honorable mentions. The haunted combos. Sharing a popsicle. I take a lick, you take a lick, I take a lick, it's yours.
Yep.
The line where he says, I like the sound of my own voice. I won't apologize for that. It's a favorite.
It's definitely a well done episode. Episode 12. Earth, Wind, and wait for it. I want our killer, our assassin, our cursassinist, our assassin.
Mine has to do with all of that. The line I had was, can we come up with a term that covers both killer and arsonist? How about assassin? That's the first one. And then, there's assassin or carsonist, arson nerderer, fire arseman, senior pantalones del fuego, and furterer.
I think one of them is, it might be our assassin, is in the Urban Dictionary. Someone put that in there.
That's awesome. Did you have an honorable mention?
I actually had two. My first honorable mention is, wait, are you a fairy? Hardly. I've seen little darlings like 11 times, but I am a male Wiccan. You're not Wiccan. I'm level 8, Jack. I'd be level 9 if it wasn't for my seasonal allergies. Did you have any honorable?
Yeah, so the fact that Gus was upset that the firehouse didn't have a Dalmatian, and he says it would be nice to see one in its natural habitat, and Sean's like, they're not indigenous to firehouses, Gus.
I love that conversation. My other honorable mention was between Henry and Sean, and it was, I warned you, Sean, firefighters are trouble. I did everything in my power to keep you off the pole. And you succeeded, Dad, in every conceivable way. That one cracks me up all the time.
That one is super funny. Season 3, episode 13, any given Friday night at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central. So there's two conversations that are pretty similar, but I picked one for most iconic. And then I technically have two honorable mentions. Most iconic is Sean saying, how do I look? Gus, like an idiot. Sweet.
So my quote shortened was hands touching myself. So it's Gus, look, let me be clear. These hands are not touching anyone. I only use these hands to touch myself. Let me rephrase that. Please stop speaking, and no more fist bumps for the rest of the day.
That was one of my honorable mentions. I like the fist bumps part at the end too. It's like, just for today.
Yep.
Forget about it. Later,
yeah, like just today.
My other honorable mention is the other one where Sean asks how he looks, but he asked Jules, and she says, like my 11-year-old nephew in his Peyton Manning pajamas. Your 11-year-old nephew is ruggedly sexy? That's weird.
I liked that one. That was a good one. My honorable mention, though, is Sean. The hover technique, resourceful Gus makes a rare appearance.
Should we consult the psych ball to see if we're going to match on this next episode?
Yes. It
says, so very no. Doesn't think we're going to match.
Really? Because I think we are. Episode 14 is Truer Lies. So it's really, really long, but I'm going to shorten it for a second.
We don't match, number one.
Oh.
So the psych ball is right.
Okay. Well, my most iconic quote from this episode is Lion Ryan is talking. The night before, I went to this restaurant to get a basket of these things called fries, cuatro queso dos fritos. And you know, the ones where they inject potatoes with a 4-cheese mixture, fry them 3/4 of the way, pull them out, batter them, fry them again, and then serve them with bacon and anche chili sour cream. Anyway, I was sitting there and he's going on, and Sean and Gus start talking. Can this be true? No way. I mean, is that even possible? I couldn't imagine. There's no way you could prepare a fry like that. That would be way too much for the human palate to manage. It would be a flavor seizure. Gentlemen, please don't be ridiculous. She's right. Let's take a minute to think things through. They must be pre-boiling the potato first. I love this quote because it's hilarious, the interaction, but also now that's one of the most well-known like food mentions from this show, and people have even like made YouTube videos of it. And I really want to try some, but I'm too scared it seems too complicated for me.
The fries cuatro queso dos fritos is my honorable mention.
Okay.
My most iconic line is an easier quote from the show, and it's
Yes.
how can you tell that someone's a compulsive liar? I mean, assuming their pants aren't on fire.
That's my honorable mention. So we just had them reversed like we thought. So the psych ball was correct. I should never doubt the psych ball. I'm pretty positive, like 99% sure we're going to have the same one.
I would hope so. My most iconic from episode 15, Tuesday the 17th, which is a very iconic episode for Psych, for the Psychos. It's a holiday every time it comes around on the calendar.
Yeah, we always rewatch on that day.
My most iconic is Let's Twist This.
Yes, of course.
It's just such a perfect line from the show. And it's a great thing when you're tweeting. It's a great gift. It's a great way to start off Tuesday the 17th when that day rolls around on the calendar.
I like to say I want to pep myself up for things that I don't want to do. Sometimes I'll just tell myself, let's twist this.
So did you have some honorable mentions?
So I thought of a lot of them, but I picked one honorable mention.
Nice.
And it's between Jason and Sean. And Jason says, "You destroyed me, Iago. What does the parrot from Aladdin have to do with it?"
That one is funny. So random. Mine, I just wrote down like some short stuff. The Rick Astley pinata. This is a pool skimmer.
There's not a lot of options around here, Sean.
And then Sean saying, I just want to thank you for shooting that whack job psycho killer in the hand. And Juliet, my pleasure.
It was the most sexiest thing I've ever seen. Episode 16, An Evening with Mr. Yang. The first time we get to hear about our yin and yang. So those are within themselves iconic episodes for Psych. It was very cool to see them do more serious episodes as well as obviously the funny ones. And there's always humor within the serious episodes. But I kind of liked those because they got to see a different side of everything and the show itself. Yeah. My most iconic quote from episode 16, An Evening with Mr. Yang, is Juliet says, "What I'm saying is that I think maybe the best things, richest things, aren't supposed to come easily. And that sometimes the moments that make the most sense happen when everything else doesn't. And well, I think you deserve more than popcorn tonight."
That's my honorable mention. That is a special quote, but also an awkward moment.
Definitely bad timing. And it's ironic that she's talking about timing when it's the worst timing possible.
Yeah. My most iconic, though, is Gus keeping things light. I want some pancakes. Who wants some pancakes? Whipped butter, maple syrup? What?
So I love Gus in this episode because he's trying to make things light to keep Sean sane, and it's just out of character of him. So it's like, it seems so awkward, but which makes it more hilarious. Mine is, my father was named Mary, his father before him named Mary, and his father before him was named Craig.
That's my other honorable mention.
I just like that one, and it introduces us to Mary, and obviously Mary is super important. He's been in each movie. He's been in multiple episodes.
Yeah,
even while dead.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he's alive or dead. We have Mary. Jimmy Simpson.
He made quite an impact.
That concludes season 3. Next time we're going to do season 4, the first half. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you. And we love hearing from you.